All right, and hello everybody. Welcome to episode 5 of Turmoil in Taldorei. But we are missing a couple of members here tonight. They had other things that they had to take care of. We're all adults. Adults have to do adult things, unfortunately. But the group of people that we have present with us, hopefully I don't kill all of them. I am your dungeon master, Lord Revan. And where we have left off is the party had just finished up a series of events in the town of the Emerald Outpost. They had rescued a lost dwarf, found an ancestral home for him, and are currently on their way up the road to the city of Iman. The party had it takes several days, of course, of travel. They had stopped at a local establishment that they have built a rapport at called Lyra's Overlook. It's kind of a tiefling haven set there to help them out with whatever they need, and it works specifically like an inn, amongst other things that it does as well. Traveling along the road, they had set up camp, and as they set up camp, two individuals had approached them. A human male named Dravali and a human female named Brida. They had mentioned simply that they had camp set up about maybe a mile or so. Then a blizzard started to blow in, and while that blizzard was blowing in, their camp had gotten attacked by a frost giant. Now, they stated that they had defeated the giant, but the giant had destroyed their camping gear, so they were just simply asking for a place to stay for the night. Party, wanting to make sure that they weren't inviting somebody in that was going to slit their throats in the middle of the night, had sent forth our rogue cleric Zero, as well too as Leopard, our warlock. And Brita had joined them as well to show them where the camp was, just to verify the story. As they broke off to the camp, they had found that the story was what they had said, that there was a destroyed campsite, there was a dead giant, and as they were looking around, they had spotted within the blizzard itself the form of another giant. And that is where we'll be picking up today's session. So, for Leopard, Zero, and then Brita. Brita had grabbed both of you and kind of pulled you down into the snow and pointed out at the silhouette of the giant that was moving within the blizzard. From what you can see, it's hard to tell how far it is away from you. All you could really tell is that there is a silhouette. It is large and it is moving.
Can we tell which direction it's moving? Like, is it going towards the camp, our camp, or away from it?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, but give it with disadvantage because of the blizzard.
Okay. Investigation, you said?
Yes. Actually, no. Instead of investigation, make that sense motive.
Sense motive?
Yes. Because you're sensing trying to figure out which way he's doing. You're reading somebody, essentially.
So that would fall under insight?
I'm sorry, yes, insight. My 3.5 skills were bleeding in there. Yes, insight.
You got me all confused there. I'm like, wait a minute.
I got really confused. You're like, where's sense motive? On your sheet, apparently.
I was about to ask, was that in translated to 5e?
My bad.
I would put that a solid 8 at disadvantage.
It's too hard to tell. The blizzard is in that whiteout stage where you could see the movements, but that's about it. You can't tell whether it's moving forward or away from you. You definitely do feel the solid thump of the impact of its steps, though. So you imagine that it's not too far away from you. But
Would my
as
Twilight
to
Eyes help at all?
no, the Twilight Eyes won't help with an obscurement like this.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll turn to Leopard and ask, you want to head back to camp now, and or do you want me to run ahead and tell them what's going on?
Maybe we should give it a couple more minutes and just watch.
Okay.
Rita says, I can send up, if we need to, I could send up a flare. It should be able to be seen through the snow. But that's also going to make it aware that we're here.
Exactly.
I could send my bird, but it can't speak. They'll just know that it's mine. They'll know to come.
It's also not optimal flying conditions.
It's your call. What would you like me to do?
I think the best action for now is to just wait and watch a little longer.
Okay.
Okay. I'll still.
Actually, that's a good point. Everybody give me stealths.
Is it
25.
with advantage because it's obscured by blizzard, or not?
I would say yes in this case, even though this thing's got some height difference on you. Its eyesight is just as limited as yours.
Right. Thank you.
Still 25.
14.
All right. And let me bring this map up, actually. You guys see yourselves down at the bottom there?
I have to zoom out. Hold on.
Not sure if I see it. Oh, there we are.
Bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah. I just need to adjust the screen so it's... There we go.
Aha. Yes, I see us.
All right. So, Giant moves. Doesn't seem like he's heading in your direction specifically, but he is moving through the snow, and you hear the heavy footfalls. You also hear like the splash of water and the crunch of ice. Everybody here, give me a perception check.
$23.
7.
Okay. So you'll notice the 0 as you guys are ducked down. So now, Leopard, you will notice the one thing because it's very obvious, but the other thing is not as much. So the giant does come close enough within view where you're able to see what he looks like.
Oh. Oops. Actually, might be worse because
That's fine, because the one thing is so obvious that you are going to see it.
It's I mean, it's 6. My stealth was also should be 1 lower. Technically.
Okay.
I have disadvantage from exhaustion.
Oh, okay, that's right.
But the rolls were also off by 1, so unfortunately not much of a difference.
All good. The giant stands, you estimate, probably about 20 feet tall. Big, heavy mane of grayish white beard, all of which is very intricately braided with beads in it and like beard cuffs that probably would be the equivalent of like a tire wheel almost. As it all just kind of like moves and clinks as he walks. Big, heavy, pointed helm on his head. He takes a couple steps. You see that the armor form has been completely ripped off. And he does look wounded. The one hand, his right hand, kind of just dragging along, is a very large flail. Heavy links of chain as the spikes of it are kind of just digging small trenches in the ground. His left arm is missing. However, in its place is this almost mixture of kind of like blue and crimson swirl of just ice and snow that encircle down in the general shape of an arm, though it is shapeless, so to speak. It takes up the proximity of what an arm and a hand would be, but there's no specific digits. And as you moves, you see it kind of shift and kind of catch with the breeze and then reform as the wind whips past it. Zero specifically, what you do notice that is really separating it as being an oddity is its eyes are physically glowing. It's low, so probably was kind of hard to spot, but you see that there is this like icy blue glow to it. And marked along the sternum of his chest and along kind of like where the pauldrons would be is a series of scroll work that I would imagine something that has like these types of tattoos would have like tribal tattoos or even a comparison to like what you've seen on like Brita and Diwali where they have kind of like this like knot work to some of their gear. The scroll work on this, it looks almost alien on this creature.
Does he seem to be undead with the way that he's moving or walking?
Give me a medicine check.
Medicine. Dirty 20.
So, with your connection to the Raven Queen, you can tell he's alive. You can also tell by the way that he's moving and some of these marks on him that that wasn't always the case. He is somehow reanimated, but not as a zombie. You do see his chest rise and fall with breath. You do see that it's perceptive. It is looking around for something, but it's not just mindlessly groaning and dragging something behind.
All right. She would send out Hughman back to camp at this point. She does not like this. She would just give it orders to go get the wall.
Okay.
It has a fly speed of 50 feet.
Okay, so clears 100 feet around.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys wait there for another couple minutes. Go ahead and give me another stealth check, everybody. You would still get the advantage, so in your case, Leopard, that'll just even out.
$21.
12.
And Brita got a 7. So, as this thing, and let me see where it's going to walk. That's the direction. So, as it starts to walk, you do see it starts to come towards your direction. And its gaze falls on both Leopard and Brita. And the gaze is kind of unnatural. Like, you can feel the chill of that, and not just specifically the element. There's something about it that is a part of winter. And it gaze falls on you and then falls on the dead giant that's not but 20, 30 feet away from you guys here. Doesn't do anything initially. It simply looks at you.
This might be a good time to make a retreat.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast Fog Cloud at 3rd level.
Okay. Does the upcast do just a larger area of effect, or does it do anything?
Yep. Just, I think, tab. Yeah, it would just increase the radius to 60 feet.
Okay. All right. So in the already obscured snow, you finish your incantation, and as you start the words, it looks at you specifically, and its eyes just harden and hone on you for a second. When a huge fog bank appears, obscuring the view of everything behind it. I'm assuming that you're... are you centering it on yourself, or how are you centering it?
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
Okay. Everywhere that you guys see is fog. I'm going to have you guys all roll initiative. That dice is going away. Give me just a second. I'll get this set up. Leopard?
11.
And then 0.
7.
All right. So the giant goes first. blind swing. See. 1, 2, and 3. This would be to Brita. So, luckily with fog, you guys hear the chain go taut and the heavy as snow and dirt just scatter against you guys as the head of the flail impacts probably about 5 feet away from where you were. Impacts completely missing. That will be for its turn. Next will be Brita, who is going to take a bonus action to rage. She is going to throw a wand at Leopard. And then she is going to run at the giant. Gets back, I will stop him. Or I will slow him. Alright. She will take her swing. Move her closer. I will hit. That will miss. All right, so you're not able to see the impact. You do hear her kind of yell and grunt as she goes and takes a swing with the battle axe and takes a chunk on him. That will be it for her. Next is Leopard.
Would it take an action to examine the wand, or?
Yes, to examine the wand, it would take an action. I will say that on just a simple glance, you do see what is probably the command word written on it, which is Fiat, F-I-R. But other than that, unless you're taking like a casting Identify on it or something like that, that's going to be an action.
So I'm slight disadvantage because a lot of my spells will require me to drop the fog cloud.
And that's assuming that you're staying and fighting it.
Yeah. It seemed she implied us. She's implying that we should not, in fact, stay and fight. How far away was the camp?
It was about a mile.
Okay. Oh, boy.
If I remember right, you guys did come down here on foot.
Yeah.
We do have backup coming.
Maybe at some point.
As the crow flies, just to set some scale, as the crow flies, that's 5 minutes.
Ouch.
Yeah, which is quite a few rounds. 50 rounds. Assuming, and that's assuming it doesn't get lost in the blizzard. So yeah, I feel like this thing's going to outpace us if we try to run. So I think I'm just going to have to shoot out a witch bolt, or not witch bolt. I'm just gonna hit it with sorry.
Right.
I should have looked at my new spells a little bit better as well. How far away is the giant?
Let's see. Since you haven't moved, 25 feet.
25 feet. So I think I'm going to have to yeah, I think I'll just hit it with Thorn Whip.
Okay.
I don't think I have much choice here.
So you're keeping the fog cloud up, and then you're taking a shot at it with the Thorn Whip?
Yeah.
Let me draw out this fog cloud then, because you are going to have a disadvantage on that shot.
Yeah, and the spell does also mention it does disperse from winds, so probably won't last its full duration, most likely.
Okay.
Because I assume if there's a blizzard, there's plenty of wind.
The square does go beyond that, but the map does not.
Okay.
If you want to take a shot at it, go for it. I'm going to take the full disadvantage.
Okay. 15. Oh wait, no. The 16.
Go ahead.
I feel like I haven't used Thorn Whip in a long time.
You guys haven't had a fight in a couple episodes.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh right. We're 6 level total at this point.
Yeah, so it should be 2d6 now.
Yeah. Only 3 damage.
Okay. All right, you feel the resistance of the whip hit something. That'll be about it. Any other bonus actions?
I don't think I actually have any bonus actions. But I guess I will start making my way towards the camp then. And one question is, do giants count as humanoid or not?
No, they are considered giants.
Okay. All right, so I'll just move my full speed away from the giant, which I guess is not on the map.
Right. So we'll just leave that as is for right now. All right, Zero, what are you doing?
Okay. How close am I? Let me see. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm like 20 feet away from him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if I move 20 feet closer, can I Misty Step to his shoulders?
And try to do the sneak attack? Yeah, he's only 20 feet tall. You could Misty Step up to 30 feet.
Alright, so I can Misty Step with my bonus attack. Or with bonus, rather. And, wait, if I Misty Step, would I be able to actually use a spell for my attack? Or no, I could just use weapon?
No, you would just be able to use the weapon.
Okay. Alright, so I'll do that and get my sneak attack.
Okay.
Actually, I have 10 feet on the whip. I don't even have to use that. I'll use the fucking whip. So we'll go 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll give myself a little bit of space. I won't even use the Misty Step. And I'll try my whip for the first time.
All right, so 5, 10, 15, 20, like here?
Yeah, I just need like 10 feet to hit him.
Okay. You're within that.
Alright, and you said I can remind me on this since I'm not proficient. I can.
It's just going to be dice plus dex. Plus if there's any plus on the weapon. You won't get your proficiency bonus with it.
Alright, so I think I already pre-figured that out. So that'll be that +8 because I did not do that. Right? Okay. It's actually +5. So dice +5. That is 15.
That'll hit.
Okay, and then it's 1 die 4 plus the sneak attack, which is 3 die 6.
You do add your dex modifier to it as well.
Okay, so that's 3. 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 20 points of damage.
Okay. So you run up, the whip unfurls as you kind of just whoosh, and leave a nice heavy gash across his knee. Pull the whip back. Are you disengaging? Or are you staying where you're? Well, you can't disengage actually because you're technically not within. Actually, yeah, you can't disengage because you're still within his threat.
I still actually have a bonus. Can I throw?
If you're staying put, yeah, you can.
All right, I'll throw one of my daggers.
Okay.
$23.
That'll definitely hit.
And that's just 1 die 4 plus 5. Actually, no, it's not with the dex bonus, so just 1 die 4.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, just the 1d4 plus any plus on the weapon.
Right. So that's just another 2. And then she'll stay put.
Stay put? All right. So we are back up to the giants. The giant is going to pull back and take a swing with the flail at Brita. So that is going to be. Luckily for those rolls, that is a miss. The swirl on its other hand, however, is going to move and lash out as almost like a severe wind lash out at Zero. That will be a 15.
That's a miss.
Okay. So it flies forward, and as you kind of duck out of the way, it watch it solidify the tips of it as it sticks into the ground. And then the icicles that had formed just kind of breaks away from the mist as it swirls back. Next will be Brita. So she is going to take her swings at the giants. First swing will hit, the other will miss. Going to say a cardinal sin here. I have too many dice. And she only does 5. Okay. And she goes and takes her swing. First one just kind of barely cutting into the leg. The one whiffing. Looks over at Zero. Why are you here? Run! Next is going to be a leopard.
Okay. So I'm actually going to try something potentially stupid, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic on the giant.
Okay. There is no particular spell that's holding on him. The Dispel Magic doesn't have anything to latch onto.
Okay, yeah.
It's worth a shot.
Couldn't really tell. Yep. Especially with a weird magical arm.
It's a valiant attempt. All right, 0. I'm sorry, actually. Was there anything else?
Well, now that 0 charged in, I guess I'm going to move in closer. I'm going to get within, I guess, back to where I was originally. Within,
okay.
More, I guess, yeah. I guess, what, like, probably around here? Is that, like, 20 feet away from the giant?
Let's say, yeah, like around this stump here is going to be, what, 5, 10, it'll be 15 feet away from him.
Or actually, I might actually, maybe better if I just move towards 0.
I'll put you there. All right. Will that be all?
Yeah.
Okay. 0, go ahead.
All right, I'll step up to the giant and do inflict wounds.
All right, give me a hit.
That's dice plus spell attack, right?
Yes.
So 14 plus 7, 21.
That'll hit.
And according to what I have here, it is 3 die 10 necrotic.
Correct.
And that's a decent roll. So 10, 21 necrotic.
Nice.
And then she will use her movement to step back and try to pull Leopard back as far as she can this way. I can't move it, like by the circle.
Now, are you disengaging or are you moving?
I'll use my bonus to disengage.
Okay. So the both of you are moving back, like towards the stump?
Yeah.
Right, so I can move you. Your regular movement speed is 15 feet, right? Or is 30 feet, right?
Me? My normal movement is 30.
Okay. Grabbing him and dragging him is going to bring the guys down.
Like, if he resists, I'm not going to force him, but I'm trying to, like, keep him away. I want him to go back so he doesn't get hurt. Protecting him.
Now, now, whenever you did do the inflict wounds, you do watch for where your hand touched the snow whitish gray skin of this thing does blacken, and you watch as like that necrotic energy kind of like pulses through his like veins up through his leg and partially, heading up towards his torso and kind of rotting and withering the flesh around it as you slap him and then you pull away.
Will
So-
I have seen that as well or not?
Yes, you'll see that.
All right, I tell Leopard as I'm pulling him away, go get the party. I can handle this guy.
Do you have any idea how far away they are?
Closer than they were 5 minutes ago?
I mean, it's been 2 rounds of combat, so it has legit been like 12 to 15 seconds.
They're, they could be here within another 80 rounds.
All right, so fight or flight? What are we doing?
I was thinking flight, but then fight started. And I think now it's too late.
Well, the barbarian said run. Should we?
I don't think we can outrun that thing.
Well, then we fight.
Right. Meanwhile, at the camp, I'll put a quick pause on the combat. You guys are kind of sitting around the fire, and Volley has just finished a tale. He's explained that he's from a group of people, a chain of islands up in the north past Whitestone. Much closer actually to like the Wildmount area. Yes, we used to take the longboats out and go fishing, and it was a great tale. Let me tell you that fish, it was a marvel to behold.
Just fueling my theory. Above table.
So, if you had mentioned that your name was the Wall of Zariel, and then we have Zoe here as well. Please, travelers, tell me, where are you from?
I shall reserve that answer until we know what became of your camp.
I agree.
Well,
I don't fully trust, this situation quite yet, so I'm not 100% comfortable relaying everything about myself.
that's perfectly fine. Simply talking to pass the time. I like learning about heroes.
I wouldn't
yourself,
say we're
I mean-
heroes.
Heroes is a term that gets floated around, but I would say that you're probably not just a seamstress. Unless your sewing needle is that absolutely gorgeous bow that you have across your lap pointing at me.
Yes, it is a good bow, and we've been through a lot.
I can definitely tell. Exquisite craftsmanship. You there, that sword on your hip definitely looks like it has a story or two to tell of itself.
That it does, but I might warn you that Zoe here, if you keep talking her up, she might sew a few stitches, if you know what I mean, sir. Fair warning. Kitty has claws.
I am sure that she does. I would hope so. But that's perfectly fine. Just simply trying to get to know you fine folks. But I imagine they should be back soon. I mean, it's only a mile to camp. Probably already on their way back.
I mean, it has been a while since they left.
To give it a time scale, it's probably been about maybe say 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That doesn't seem to me an unreasonable amount of time to walk in a blizzard.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fast in a blizzard to have already been there and in combat.
I think my
Love table.
actual walking speed is about 25 minutes for a mile.
And to be fair, though, they're also being led by a barbarian.
True.
Right, but all things considered, 20 minutes, I wouldn't be worried about them yet.
Yeah, because it hasn't been like hours.
Okay.
Probably what, like an hour away before they start to get worried?
Probably.
Yeah, being realistic, that's about right.
That's only what, 3 hours.
It's like another like 3,000 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
At some point, he's going to go, what is 0 up to?
No, it's only 600.
I mean, still have to go through an hour before getting to that point. Because, I mean, it is a blizzard. Walking speed is reduced 20 minutes. Just in character, I would know that. And I wouldn't be worried at this point. So, Zoe, you feel like there's anything going on? I don't. Sort of in character, not in character, but yeah.
That works.
I don't know. I feel like something is off, but it's too soon to tell. Just because, all the circumstances and everything.
I mean, full disclosure, like I said, we were at camp. The blizzard set in, so we tried to get stuff set up quickly. Went inside our tent. Next thing we know, a giant comes stomping through, takes out our tent. It wasn't a case of them just like kicking things and walking through. No, they came in with intent, it feels. Though I do have to say, one thing that was kind of strange about it is it was already wounded. It had some pretty heavy bruises on it, so I imagine that it was fighting something prior to coming to us and just happened to be unlucky.
And so when you killed the beast, did you happen to look around the area, or did you just straight leave the camp?
We gathered what stuff that we could, and then we left. There's no need. We tried to salvage what we could, but once the actual tent poles, they were absolutely shattered from this creature's impact. So there was nothing that we were able to set up to be able to keep the camp going, to keep ourselves warm for the night. So we figured it was best to walk.
Could you describe the wounds on the giant? That you said it was already badly wounded when it came into camp, but it had intent. That doesn't sit right. That something wounded would straight up attack you.
I would feel like something wounded would be inclined to maybe either attempt the hunt to whatever it wounded it, or at least hide in cover, not go and mangle a camp. That's just me, anyways.
That's a valid point. I didn't really ask it. As to its wounds, he thinks back for a minute. If I were to describe them, I would definitely say they were probably made of a weapon. Definitely something with bludgeoning. Maybe a morning star, because it did have punctures on it. So it had a couple wounds across its chest. It definitely had blood on it too that didn't seem like it belonged to it as well. Specifically around like his hands, and the axe that it carried had a big heavy frozen blood stain on it, like it had taken something off. I agree that is kind of
Any other
strange on
target.
why it would have just attacked our camp.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we don't know where it was going. So with you and your group, were you particularly coming this direction, or because due to your camp, you thought you would go back to the closest town?
So we actually just left from Iman. We're
Okay.
heading out towards the coast, and since since the camp got destroyed, we figured it was best to head back towards the city. Figured by morning, as long as we didn't fall from exposure, which I'm sure we would have been fine. We figured by morning we could probably made the gate and then found a place to rest, stocked on supplies, etc.
Anything else about the giant that you remember?
Not that I remember. And like I said, it was wounded coming in, and to be completely honest, friend, I don't know what its motivations were. Once it came in, started swinging and cutting things down, I stopped asking questions.
Do you recall its fighting style? Was it just madly swinging its axe, or was it being strategic?
Stop and think for a minute. I would say at the very beginning, it seemed mad. Maybe some type of frustration it was letting out. However, once it came through and started its fight with us, then it became a lot more intense. Frost giants are skilled combatants. Take your barbarian like Brita. You know, she could put up a solid fight with that axe of hers, but it's not all rage and anger, and she swings blindly. She knows what she's doing with it. Frost giants are the same. They know what they're doing with their weapons. They don't just swing, and often they don't miss.
And so, was the blizzard going on during this time? Like, what was the view like? Could you see him clear as day, and vice versa, or was there some blinding?
No, there was definitely some blinding. The blizzard had already set in.
Okay.
I mean, we definitely felt him as he came into the camp. I mean, they're hard to miss. Um, we felt him coming into the camp, and the next thing that we know, our oxen that we had for our carts, it was bisected. And then the destruction happened, and so did we.
So there was a giant that was in the right state of mind to fight with strategy, that was wounded before it came into your camp. So there's something else out there that wounded this giant, and you didn't think to tell us this from the beginning.
I mean, to be completely honest, I didn't think it was a thing to be considered.
I think
With
we
Look at
probably
it like
need to go.
this. Think about it like this: we had the thing that happened to the camp. Things were destroyed, and we left. I didn't think anything more than that.
There's still something out there. Your friend and our friends just went to the camp, but there's something else out there that wounded this giant. I'm going to turn to Zoe and basically give her a look of, are we going?
And I look at the wall, and with my look, I say, "We're going."
So,
Sure, what
Zeno
is?
and Zerelda. Zeno and Zerelda, you're going to make sure this guy doesn't go anywhere and doesn't get into any trouble. Zoe, let's go.
Let's go.
Instead of you guys walking blindly to camp, I would much rather show you it so you guys don't get lost in this blizzard. I know where it was.
That works too. Come on.
Everybody, let's go.
And as we're walking, do me a quick favor. Zoe, you seem to be pretty astute with things. Let me know whenever you see a tree.
A tree?
A tree.
Any particular tree or just a tree?
Something that's kind of have a fat body.
Fat body? Okay.
Yes.
And what kind of branches are we working with? Is it full?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Fat base. All right, I will let you know.
Just need a fat-based tree.
Okay.
Conifer. Okay, conifer, deciduous.
I'm partial to maple and birch myself.
I will keep an
All right.
eye out.
All right, back to the brawl. It is the giant's turn. The giant is going to take a swing at the flail at Brita. That'll hit. It hits her for 28. And then is going to attempt to grab her. All right, and then it misses that horribly. So you watch as it pulls back and just completely cracks her across the ribs with this flail. She's able to react fast enough with the shield, but it ends up picking her up off of her feet. She goes and skids a couple feet over. The shield that she had is just kind of concaved in from the hit. Still usable at the moment, but another hit like that would probably shatter that. Okay. Next, we do have Brita. In turn, she is going to go and swing on the thing. Good for hitting for one attack and not for the other. All right. She takes another chunk out of its leg. It seems to be kind of wobbling a little bit from all of the hits that it's taken, but it is still standing. Leopard, you were up.
Okay. You mentioned it had some kind of armor, correct?
No, it actually had
Okay.
shredded the armor off.
Okay. That makes a difference. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to take the turn to replenish one of my spell slots with the rod.
Okay. Is that a action or a bonus action?
It's an action, unfortunately.
Okay. And then are you moving? You staying put?
I'm staying put just because I'm unsure what Zero is planning at this point anymore.
Okay. Zero.
I am going to do the whip dagger thing I did before. So I'm going to move up again. Go within 10 feet of him. And I'm going to attack with the whip first and then throw the dagger again.
Okay.
He is in combat, so I get the sneak attack, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so does a 13 hit?
A 13 misses.
All right, so I missed with the whip and then with the dagger. Wow. 10 with the dagger.
All right. Dagger gets caught in a burst of wind and goes flying off.
Does it return?
It'll still return due to its own properties, but flavor text.
Yes.
All right.
I'll back up a little if I have the movement, just so I'm out of range.
So you go to back up, and it will get an attack of opportunity on you.
All right. Actually, then no. I'll stay. That's fine.
Zoe, give me a survival check, please. Go ahead and do it with advantage because I'm sure that's others are helping you look too. Zoe? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I could hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Zoe, go ahead and give me a survival check. Go ahead and do it with advantage because I assume the others are helping you look. There, Zoe?
Oh, I thought you said 0. Okay. All right. You said survival?
Yes, so go ahead and roll it with advantage.
Oh, with advantage? All right. What's my survival? Okay. $24.
Okay, easy enough. So, you guys get probably about maybe 100, 200 feet away from camp, and you do see this copse of trees, and one of them kind of fits the bill of what he's talking about.
Is it a sugar or red maple?
It is definitely a maple. The rest of those words,
there
I'm
a
not as
reason
familiar with those
No.
trees.
I guess the wall can take a nature check to check.
All right. Pointed
Is
out
there
to
a
him,
raven
I
here?
assume? No, there has not been enough time for the raven to have made it back to camp.
Yes, so I point out to him and I let him know, saying, hey, I believe this tree is under your credentials. Am I correct to assume that?
That is absolutely correct. All right. So what's going to happen, guys? I'm going to touch a tree. Touch this tree. You have a very short period of time, but you're going to run into it, and we're going to be at my camp. Understood?
Okay. I mean,
I will have my sword drawn if I am going through a tree, if that makes sense.
You're welcome to do so.
yes, I will have a bow in hand.
All right.
And not.
Yes.
So he will go over to the tree, put his hand on it. You'll hear a couple of words that are said in a very musical tone almost. It's almost like he's singing to the tree. And watch a crack form at the top and then just almost zipper down. And as it does, that crack, you hear the wood just kind of groan as it and a doorway opens up. Now, and he goes and walks through it.
And I will hop in right behind.
As will the wall of Zariel.
All right, and I'm assuming Sergeant Scruffles is behind?
Yes, he is right to the left-hand side of my body.
All right. And as you guys walk through, it's kind of like almost walking through a really short hallway. And you guys step out into the blizzard out of the other side of a tree. And as you do, you see another frost giant. Now, where the tree opens up, you guys are pretty much at the body of the other frost giant that they had killed. You do see the one that has been fighting the group standing tall against the blizzard, an arm made out of swirling snow and ice. Followed by Dravali going, see, that wasn't that. What in the gods is that thing?
I'm guessing that's what attacked the other one. That's just my
All right.
perception.
You guys go ahead and roll into the initiative as well, please.
Okie dokie. And then I need to get it for Sergeant Scruffles.
All right, so we'll do the wall first.
Okay.
Wall. You're muted, but or you're not speaking.
He said, I'm
Push
guessing.
to talk. It's 3.
Okay.
That was a number lower than what I rolled.
I myself got 16.
All right. And Zoe is at a 16, and then Sergeant Scruffles.
I am trying to find his stuff because there's just so much.
I want to say he's got a +2 to his initiative, if I remember right.
That's what I was thinking, but we'll just do that. And so his is 8.
All right. So, stepping out of the and the fog cloud is actually still up, correct?
Assuming it hasn't been blown away yet.
Okay. It has not yet been blown away, though it is less now. I just couldn't remember if you'd cast something with concentration or not.
No, I was avoiding it specifically for that.
Okay. All right. So you guys step out. You see the giants. We were actually at the top of the initiative. Zoe, you are first now.
Okay. And so what kind of damage has he taken, if any?
You definitely see a lot of damage down from like the knee lower. Just due to striking range.
Yeah.
One leg has been blackened. The other one has had pieces taken out of it from an axe. A nice long slash across from whip.
And
But other than those, he's still standing. Though it seems like he is standing a little bit wobbly.
so which is the leg that's more injured?
I'm going to say the blackened one. That's taken the most damage so far.
And is that the right or the left?
That's going to be his left leg.
His left leg? Okay. Then I'm definitely going for the left leg. And let me see. And then I do want to use... of course, I'm going to use my arrow. Why is all my stuff all over the place? So yes, right now I'm just going to use my arrow because I know I had special stuff on that. Isn't that correct? On my arrow?
Yes, that information is attached to your bow.
Okay, so why can't I find where my bow is at? I mean, that information at. Because I know I had a
And
skill that I wanted to use, and I don't remember where it was and where I put it. Let me... I need to get more
it should still have it too.
I need to get more organized.
I got it. I'm going to send it to you now.
Okay. Yeah, and then I'll just add it where it's supposed to go.
Instead of sending the stats, I found the entire history of it. Just a second.
Okay, take your time. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna use Sprite Smite on the left leg.
All right, go ahead and take the shot.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, because this is a spell, I would do the attack first, correct?
Yes, it's technically not a spell. You're just using one of the charges on the bow.
Okay. So
If you have like a bonus action spell that you want to do, like Hunter's Mark or something like that, you can still do that.
okay. So I got a 9 on that.
A 9 total? Did you include all your modifiers and such?
Let me see. So I got a 9 for the attack. And then what is it for the?
That would be dexterity modifier and proficiency bonus.
So dexterity.
Added on to that.
Dexterity is modifier is a 3, which is a 7, so a 15 if my math is correct.
Yes, 15 will hit.
Okay, perfect. And so then I will do my damage, right?
Right. So you do your regular bow damage, plus you add the additional 2d8 radiant.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember. Did you take that level in Rogue or no?
I did, yes.
So you'll also then add an additional d6 of sneak attack.
Okay. So the damage with just that, and then you said a 2d8?
2d8 for the arrow.
Okay. 2d8. So a 16 for that, and then you said for my sneak attack a 1d6?
Yes.
Okay.
Stacking them dice.
16.
16 total?
Yes.
All right. So you pull back with the bow, and you watch as seems like almost like little tiny like pink motes of light just kind of pull from the flowers on the actual like arc of the bow and dance around the arrow as it has this like pinkish glow about it. And as you loose, it arcs across, and this will be the first time that's Zero and Leopard will notice that they're there because this gets attention. As it arcs across, you watch this little trail as it impacts against the giant's knee with this just kind of like bright burst of like a flash of like pinkish light as its leg and it radiates up starts to kind of glow in color. And you watch his leg buckle a little bit as he tries to keep his composure. That was a nice solid hit. Your second attack.
I will end my turn.
Okay. Right. Next is, I believe, the Giants. Giant is next. All right.
Yeah. You're out.
So
Didn't the giant already attack? Already no. Sorry.
we ended it on 0.
With the reduced amount of competence, it was hard. Can be hard to keep track.
No problem.
It'll be easier now.
All right. So the giant takes a step forward. Now, it's not enough to garner the attack of opportunity, but it takes a step forward, and with its left hand, it lashes out again in that mist and icy formation as it goes and attempts to hit Zoe. It'll be a 23. I'm assuming that hits Zoe. Oh, you're muted.
I mean, a 23 would hit me even, so.
Okay. Zoe, you take 15 points of cold damage.
Okay.
And I need you to give me a strength check, please.
Okay.
This would be against a grapple. So it's either an athletics check or an acrobatics check, whatever is better for you.
Okay, we'll go with acrobatics because that is way better. 16.
Okay, you rolled a 2. So you get impacted with this as feels almost like just this biting cold breeze as your fur kind of like sticks to you. Like, I don't know if you've ever gone outside with your hair still wet in the winter,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's kind of like that feeling.
Okay.
And you feel it starting to solidify around you as you're able to just kind of like duck underneath it and roll. As it would have finished its grasp, this just chunk of ice just onto the ground next to you.
Okay.
For its second attack, it is going to, now seeing the new combatants, is going to take a swing with the flail at the wall. And will miss on a dirty 20. This big heavy flail comes arcing over to you again, or to you for the first time. And just out of reaction, you're able to bring the shield up, and it just, you hear the metal and the sparks slide off of it as a heavy impacts against the ground. Next on that list is going to be Brita.
Were you trying to hit me?
All right. Just going to take her swings against the giant. That one will hit, and that one will hit. Finally, she hits him twice in a turn. All right, so she hits him for 15. It's 2 solid hits with the axe. Starting to look pretty wounded. All right, next we got Leopard.
Okay. So you say he's about 20 feet tall?
Yes.
Let's see. I have a few options. I think I'm going to just cast darkness, centering just basically around him above, like so it's like a foot above the tallest person, which I guess is Brita, most likely.
Okay, so like kind of casting it from like his knees up.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So with that, the mist finally just kind of dissipates with the wind as this 20-foot circle ball of darkness engulfs the upper half of the giant.
And that's pretty much all I can do for this.
Next is going to be Dravali. He is going to take a step forward. Sneaky friend, I think that you could use some assistance. And he is going to touch Zero's back and cast Greater Invisibility on you.
Okay.
Greater Invisibility means that you do not lose the invisibility whenever you attack.
Let's have some fucking fun.
And as a bonus action, it's going to take a look over at the wall. Friends, you have proven me as to being wrong and occasionally an idiot. For that, I salute you. And he is going to give you a bardic inspiration. On any attack roll, or pretty much any d20 roll, you can add an extra d8 to it. And that will be his turn. Next is going to be Sergeant Scruffles.
Okay, perfect. And how high is the beast's legs from the ground?
I mean, he's standing on the ground.
Well, what is his height between his feet and his knees?
I'd say between like 5 and 6 feet.
Okay.
Keep in mind, nobody has made a melee or ranged attack against him. Brita did. I didn't use it, so that was my bad. There is still your guiding bolts or your arrow on him, so Sergeant Scruffles will have advantage on this attack.
Okay, perfect. Because if I want Sergeant Scruffles to go with the knee that I shot, I wanted to make sure whether or not he had enough height to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big ass wolf. He could definitely jump up there and take a bite.
Okay, then we're gonna go for the one that I inflicted damage on, since he already has advantage. Huh?
What was that, Leopard?
Sergeant Scruffle is just going to airbud it.
Yes.
Pretty much. So I have his stuff up now, so we shall do... Where's his bite? Melee attack +6, okay. He got a 9. Oh, wait, with advantage. Never mind.
Advantage, plus he has bonuses and such too. Remember that.
Okay. Oh, so with just me rolling, it was a 15.
Yeah.
And he has an advantage on attack roll against a creature, at least.
Okay. So, I mean, the 15 just with the natural dice that will hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and do the damage.
Damage is 2d6. This one. 12.
Okay. All right, so Sergeant Scruffles goes and jumps up at him, watches he just sinks his teeth into the giant's knee, and kind of like whenever you have like a smaller dog that's biting onto like your sleeve, and he's just kind of dangling there for a minute. He grabs a nice solid piece of flesh, kind of sways a little bit, and then lets go and like jumps and kind of skids across the snow.
Yeah.
We'll
Sounds
put
like-
him.
Sounds like it hurts.
With that impact, the giant will go down to one knee.
Mission accomplished.
All right. Wolves Ariel, is your go.
Oh, hot damn! It's my turn. Okay,
Actually,
so I
apologize. Zero does go first and then you. That was my bad. Apologies.
Right, so I'm currently invisible.
Yes, currently you are invisible, so you do have advantage on your attack, and then you will have your sneak attack on the swing.
Okay. All right, so I will do the whip again. Do what I was doing before.
So you'll get advantage on both the attacks.
All right, so that would be 20 with the whip,
Go ahead.
and then that would be with sneak attack, so that's these. That's 1, 5. That one's cocked. So 7, 15 damage with the whip with the sneak attack,
Nice. Okay.
and then the dagger. 26 to hit.
Go ahead.
And that one wouldn't be considered sneak attack, would it?
No.
Sorry, you went out. Was that yay or nay?
Nay.
Okay. So that would be a 4 more.
Okay.
And then
All right.
for my movement.
Okay.
Would I be able to climb up this asshole?
For that, I'm going to give you a disadvantage if you want to try to do that. He is currently engulfed in darkness that you cannot see through. The magical darkness trumps dark vision.
Trumps the twilight.
Unless the twilight specifically says if you can see through magical darkness, yes.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I can't remember if it does or if it was something else that allows you. Oh, I think it was.
No, it doesn't.
I think it was a warlock invocation that allows you.
Right, there's a warlock invocation that does it. I think that's the only way that you could get that, to be honest.
Yeah, that was that Shimiguri eyes.
Right.
What if I use acrobatics? Would I be able to?
I mean, you could definitely give it a shot. You're just taking a disadvantage on trying to do it.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
All right, so disadvantage with my acrobatics.
Yes.
Definitely did not do that. But even with the disadvantage, it's a 9, so it's not terrible.
Okay, well, at least you don't yeet yourself into a frozen river. You kind of do that thing where you're like trying to like jump up. Like, remember you're in high school and you're trying to do the pull-up bars, but you're a little bit too short for them, so you try to jump up and grab them. That's kind of what you just did.
Yeah,
if
but
you were
nobody
being
saw it.
right, if you were being seen, it would be embarrassing. But since you're invisible, nobody knows. Nobody can track your failures.
Yes.
Is
All
that
right,
it
so
for you?
I'm somewhere face planted in the snow by it.
Yeah, a nice solid snow.
Is there just like a 0 indentation to snow?
Yep.
Yes. That's it for me.
All right. Now it's the wall's turn.
Yay! Okay, so I should have enough movement to get up to this guy.
Absolutely.
So with my Storm Seeker drawn, my magical sword that starts arcing and vibrating with electricity whenever there's a storm about, for anybody watching who isn't aware of the sword. And I have that drawn, and it's a long sword, and I'm just going to run up, and I saw, because I was analyzing the battlefield, that's why I was so slow to do this. I saw Zoe attack a knee, I saw Sergeant Scruffles bite it, and I saw this guy go down. I'm running up, and I am chopping off that leg. So,
All right, go for it. Waiting for that critical hit, as there hasn't been one tonight.
That is going to be a 21 on the hit.
Go ahead.
That is 13.
Okay.
And I get, sorry.
You get a second attack. Go ahead.
Sweet. Okay, that's a 24 to hit. And with this one, I'm going to use a superiority die.
Okay.
Which that is, what is that? Is that a D8? Okay. So where is my D8? There we go. And I'm using taunt as my
as the superiority
skill. Yeah. That is going to be a total of 15. And after my slice, I am going to look up towards the giant, and I'm just going to belt out at him, "Who wears polka-dotted knickers in a blizzard?"
I love that. However, you don't get a response.
That's okay. I'm just taunting him.
No, you're perfectly fine. I do, however, need the wall and Zero to give me a dexterity saving throw.
And the giant needs to do a wisdom saving throw.
We'll get to that in a minute.
What did that guy cast on? I can roll another D8 or something?
Yes, he gave you inspiration, so you could use the inspiration die for that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
4.
18.
Okay, and then 0? Zero, you're muted.
She said she'll be right back.
Okay.
So, do you want to roll for her, or?
I'll just roll for her. Okay, she makes it. So, the reason you don't get a response back and then a wisdom saving throw isn't necessary. You do cleave through the leg. So the leg does fall in a slump. The blow was enough to kill him. As you taunt up at him and no response is had, you watch, because you can only see part of it from being that pocket of darkness. You watch as it starts to tilt and then fall. And you guys are able to both jump out of the way as the frost giant falls face first into the ground with a cloud of snow and wet ground splatters everybody as it falls dead. And then for that, we're going to go ahead and take our break.
Oh, well, real quick,
Yeah,
I
please.
do like a particular green tunicked adorned hero who is known across multiple eras. Gonna do like his little wavy sword thing and sheath my sword.
As one does. It's a fresh Breath of the Wild, if you will.
Yes.
Hashtag trademark. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take like a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back to continue the episode. Everybody so far that's watching, thank you, and we'll be right back. All right, and hello again. All right, so the dust has finally settled, and you guys have a dead giant on the ground. Trevally
So,
looks
first-
over. Sorry, go ahead.
Finish your sentence, please.
Okay. Trevally looks over at the group, sees that Brita's taken a couple hits. Anybody else? Is anybody else here wounded?
I think
I
he
don't
only
think I
got
got
him for
hit.
one hit.
Okay.
I have a little
Right.
cold damage, but that's about it.
Then come here.
2 hits the whole time.
And he'll walk over. How much damage did you take?
15.
15? Okay. And he will hit you with a Cure Wounds at 2nd level. So 16. So you're healed.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
So you mentioned there's some kind of scrolling on, correct?
Yes.
Was it like a rune work?
Kind of. So you guys will probably have to flip them over. So our strong boys here, if you want to take let's take a strength check with advantage because we got a couple people that are willing to help that.
Ah, what a glorious kill.
All right. Go ahead and take the strength check with advantage. Or athletics, rather.
Zero will snap her bird back.
Okay.
25.
Okay. So with the help of Brita and Diwali, you guys are able to. It's a little bit of work because it's a big thing and they're heavy, but you guys are able to flip it over onto its back.
Okay, I would like to ritual cast comprehend languages.
Okay, starting off on it, the scroll work is in Infernal.
Okay.
Oh, what does this say here? Isn't it nice having a tiefling here? So magical voice in the sky. What can I read on this creature?
So, and let me state this so I'm not overshadowing Leopard. Leopard, you do start the ritual on it, and Wall states that he's able to understand at least the language. Are you continuing with the ritual, or are you just letting him do it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to.
Okay.
Especially since I could have just started as they were flipping.
Sorry for stepping in.
Also, Zero, I believe, understands.
Speak Infernal.
So really, half the party can read this.
Half the current people here, yeah. It's all good. So
I'm not special.
You got the kill. That's special.
you got the kill, and you came against the Frost Giants. Granted, at the end of the fight, but you came into the Frost Giant and came out unscathed. So that's a feat in itself.
Yeah. And you
Is
got to
Zero
zoom through
still
a tree.
invisible?
Yes, because he hasn't ended it yet.
Yeah, so she's busy trying to figure out what shenanigans she can get into while she's invisible.
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. So taking a look over it, the language is definitely infernal, but the wording on it's more scroll work of arcane nature. There are words that you do recognize, like winter, Stygian, Vestus, but Everything else is more arcane writing that doesn't have any particular meaning in the actual language itself, aside from a practitioner.
I will turn to Leopold. And again, above table. Sorry for overstepping.
No, you weren't
My bad
overstepping.
on that.
You were adding to the situation.
But young Leopard, there are some words here like winter and Stygian, cold, of that nature. But unfortunately, a lot of this looks like it would be more your expertise if you know how to comprehend it. It seems more of a magical nature than it is just the language itself. And I am not magical, as we're aware.
Yeah. So, I guess with my at this point, the ritual will be finished.
We'll get to the ritual in just a second. So that does have a 10-minute casting on it.
Yep.
So 0. Since he hasn't ended the invisibility, what are you doing?
We have 2 giant bodies on the ground.
Hmm?
Where's the druid? Can you ping him?
That would be Dravali here.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. So
Calling out that she called her bird back, and the bird's not invisible.
that is true. I'm gonna head over to the druid. Whether or not I stay invisible, I don't really care because I have an idea. I'm gonna take him aside, and I'm gonna speak to him, ask him if he has any kind of magic that would heat up his hand and burn off my brand.
All right.
If he does, I'll give myself resistance first.
Goes. I do have some magic, but I will need a piece of metal.
Zeralda has my thing. I give him a spare dagger.
Okay.
Not one of my flying ones, but a regular one.
Okay. I'm assuming you're doing this away from the rest of the group, correct?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay. So, I'm not quite sure on why, but I'm not here to ask questions. This is what you request. I can do this. And he will wrap his like cloak around the handle of it to give him a little bit of insulation. Then
I give
cast.
myself resistance.
The resistance is going to make this go longer.
Yeah. All right. Never mind. Let's just do it.
All right. He will cast heat metal and press it against the brand. You will take 6 points of fire damage.
Okay.
In which case, then he will pull the dagger off, discard it in the snow. Hold still. And he will slap his hand against where the brand was and hit you with Cure Wounds.
Awesome.
That'll heal up.
Bring me back up.
That will, he's only doing it at first level. It will give you back, actually, that'll be 4 of the 6. But still a little tender.
It's fine. Zero will give him a hug. And then skip over to the wall.
It'll take you a couple minutes because you have to put like your armor and shit back on.
Yeah.
All right. Out to Leopard.
Kudos to her for not screaming when a orange hot piece of metal was pressed against her shoulder.
I mean, to be completely fair, she has been in the pathway of dragon's claws and breath weapon and all kinds of shit. 6 points of fire damage, that's like nothing.
That is true.
I mean, if you want it for flavor, I can roll and see. I've been rolling like crap all night, so.
You know what? Fine. Let's do that as a Constitution save.
Okay. So dice plus my whopping +1, so. That is an 8.
A 9 total.
An 8 total.
8 total. You're still fine. I set the DC on that really low. Like I said, you've taken the brunt of some pretty heavy hits. 5 points of damage, 6 points of damage is nothing. Definitely grown. You hiss at that shit. You're not screaming.
It's going to be sore for a while.
Yeah, you're going to have to sleep that off. All right, Leopard. So you finish the ritual and the language becomes more apparent. Now, like I said, on initial glance, you do recognize some of the wording of, winter, cold, Stygian, Vestus. Those are words that translate out to common for you. The rest of it is written in an arcane language. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Don't do the disadvantage on this one.
Okay. You said Arcana, correct? That's 11.
11. So you're not familiar with the specific wordings and what it's for. This seems to be some type of old magic, probably more akin to warlock magic than wizards, but definitely fiendish in origin.
What about the second body?
The second body doesn't have any markings on it. So, as to the first one, like I said, everything seems kind of fiendish in origin. Those are a couple words that you recognize. You don't know what could have put this on this creature. You have no idea what kind of magic was needed to create the thing's arm, which is gone, by the way. That's whenever it died, so did that. Whatever had created this, it's some type of old, maybe ritual of some sort.
Okay.
Have you been able to discern anything, young Leopard?
Apart from its fiendish origins, not quite.
Very well. Then I think it's best we stand on guard until we get back to camp, knowing that this thing was more or less created.
Right. We can't be certain there aren't more, or that whatever originated them proximity as well.
And then, my friends, when we do make it back to camp, I have a very nice bottle of mead to crack open for this. There's a night to celebrate when there's 2 giants that have been filled.
Yes, but first, I'd like to investigate the body, see if there's anything
Absolutely.
of value.
All right, go ahead and give me an investigation check on. We'll give me. Fuck it. We'll just do one investigation for both.
Can I give him advantage or help him?
Sure. At this point, your invisibility is gone, by the way.
Okay. Do you want the advantage or do you want me to roll separate and help you?
You're muted, I think.
You gotta push the button.
Push to talk. Oh god, I got a dirty 20. I can roll 1 higher. That's it. So
Okay.
if your investigation is more than +1, then you could roll separately.
Okay. Mine's +5, so let's see how well the 20 treats me this time. Mine's also 20.
Okay. So you guys do find 2. Between the 2 of them, there are 2 bags. Each of the bags, one bag has 3 items in it. The other bag has 4. These are going to be rolled randomly. So we'll start with first bag. Somebody give me a D100 roll.
Someone who rolls better than me today.
Centiles, hold on. You just had them out too. All right. 65.
All right, so the first item, there is a unlocked empty wooden chest.
Okay.
Next
Just in
percentile.
the back. How crazy.
41.
There are 4, while still fresh, there are 4 trout.
56.
This one's great. So there is a pretty well made, and granted it's heavily used, but there is a very well made stuffed bear. It is small to the size of the giant, but it is about Zerelda's size.
How many more rolls?
So that's it for that bag. There's
Okay.
4 more rolls, and this is going to be for the other bag.
I guess if there's, I could take a crack at 1 roll if there's that many left.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can as well.
Okay. We'll do Leopard first, then the wall.
Sorry, I had to double check if it's a 9 or 6. It's 95.
95. This one, you guys aren't able to necessarily move without a little bit of strength. There is a 10-foot long hemp rope tied to a boat anchor.
Huh.
All right, the wall.
That's odd.
83. And would I be able to carry the anchor on my back?
I will have to get back to you on that because it's a fucking anchor. So I have to see how much that actually weighs.
Fair. Can I carry the bear on my back?
I mean, I imagine that that bear is going to be making it back to camp and may in fact be somebody's stuffy.
You could always put the bear in the chest.
Very true. That make it
No,
bare chested.
The bear is already getting hugged by Zero.
All right.
So I 83.
You find a giant-sized smoking pipe.
I mean, you might as well just write that on Zerelda's sheet right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
that-
pipe the size of Zerelda.
I would say that this thing's probably taller than her. I mean, you have to consider to scale 20-foot tall humanoid. Yeah, that pipe's got to be about 3 feet longish.
That does not mean she's not gonna claim it.
That does not mean she's not going to claim it. That is absolutely correct.
All right, well, I claim the teddy bear.
So, do you want to
Hang
take a
on.
spin?
0.
And
So,
nobody's claiming anything yet.
so what do I
will
have to roll?
stab you.
You're rolling a D100.
A D100. Okay.
Was this giant wearing a helmet?
Yes, it is a giant-sized helmet, but there is a helmet.
69.
All right.
Don't say anything.
I am going to choose something else just because you rolled a 69. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that kind of luck doesn't happen all the time.
That's right. The 1 in 100 chance, in fact. You find a rocking chair. A
Okay.
human-sized rocking chair.
Okay. That's nice. I don't know where the
It's
hell I'm
actually-
going to put it.
Fairly well crafted as well. Looks like it was belonged
So-
to somebody that could fit it, but it's in decent shape.
Okay.
Side note for the DM. Would a helmet still count as armor or not?
I mean, a helmet of that size you can't wear.
Would it count as metal armor? Is what I'm asking.
No, it would not. Right, and 0, you get one more roll, and then I'm going to be doing a roll myself.
Ooh, okay. 64.
64. You pull out a wooden door with twisted iron hinges.
I knock on the door.
I mean, nothing answers. If you guys do one more roll for me, I gotta pull up a chart. So bear with me a second. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff here. So start off, somebody give me a D8.
I got a 5.
Okay. All right, and then another D8.
From me or someone else. Doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Go ahead.
One.
Okay. So you the last thing that gets pulled out of that bag is a trident. The trident seems to be of very well made, like well hammered out iron and everything like that. Definitely too small for the giant to use. You do see very simple rune work on it. And it definitely is sized for a normal sized person.
Is it readable rune work? Or not actually a language?
Oh, it's just not actual language. It's just magical runes.
Either way, I guess I will cast detect magic on the loot pile.
Okay. The trident does radiate magic. And then whenever somebody gets around to doing it, identify on it, it's a +1 trident.
So, well, at least one thing that's not garbage.
I mean, there's not
the stuffed bear.
Yeah, stuffed
garbage,
bear. You got
and-
dinner.
well, and it should be glowing, if I say so myself. Magical voice in the sky.
Wait, what's glowing?
The stuffed bear.
I mean, the stuffed bear is magical. I will agree to that. All right. So you guys gather up your things and eventually do make it back to camp. As after probably about another maybe hour or two, the blizzard does eventually die down and actually just kind of stops snowing altogether. Everybody has the rest of the night to kind of talk. Javali explains that him and Brita, like they said, they were heading out to the coast. They are going to be heading back towards Amon, so be following you guys if you don't mind. Just better moving in a group.
Can't you open another portal through a tree to Amon?
I use that one and only spell to get us there. Now I will get that back, but I'd rather not waste my highest level spell on something as simple as travel, whenever it can be used for other things.
Fair enough.
But it just simply explain they'll be heading to Amon and then heading back out. Assuming that you guys are willing to share camp with them, he's still willing to sacrifice a bottle or two of strawberry mead.
I mean, I'm okay with them sharing camp as long as they endure a very long and stern talking to from the wall of Zariel about how they must not skimp on details such as it was already wounded in a blizzard. You took it out. Like, what else is out there?
Seems only fair.
And I've gained a little trust in you, so I'm okay sharing camp for the night.
All right, then
Zero
I'm.
did go out for bird. Little baby bird.
And it's like you share in the trust, and I share in the mead. All right. So you guys make camp. You drink. You guys have your appropriate watches and rests, so everybody can work down a long rest. And you hit the road and start heading towards the next day, towards the city of Iman. About a half a day's travel, maybe a little bit more. Coming across the horizon, you do see the city. You hear the sounds of the gulls off the coast, the coast. Albeit cold, you do smell the sea coming through the plains and the giant white walls of the city of Amon, the crown jewel of the human empire. And for that, that's where we'll stop for the night.
Okie dokie.
All right. Anybody who stuck through, thank you very much for watching. We will be back next week. And for my players as well, thank you for being here for the combat and for the show.
No problem.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, then I will see you next Thursday. And as always, you guys here, and of course those that are in the chat and watching, you guys are always welcome.